Alright guys, so in video 2 we're going to go over the interior of this XJ. Interior is no different than the exterior or mechanical aspects of our builds. Very thorough. We have a couple different departments that head up the interior builds for a project like this. First and foremost, this interior gets completely gutted. Seats, carpets, door panels, dash, center console, trim, headliners. It's literally bare bones inside. That's how we start. Once everything's ripped out down to zero, we're left with pretty much the floor pan and the roof, and even the headliner is taken out, so there's no trim. The windows do stay intact, even though this Jeep does have a brand new front windshield. So once we're down to bare metal, we go from there. Obviously we have bare bones to start, so the complete floor liner and roof gets sealed with Dynamat. If you're unfamiliar with Dynamat, sound insulator, climate insulator, stops vibrations. It's an awesome material. Car builders have been using it for years. People in the audio industry also use it. Stops vibrations, which is really a key thing in some of these older vehicles that really can vibrate going down the road. Helps out also with your climate. It's pretty much like insulation for your house. Keeps the heat in, keeps the AC in, whatever you have going on, and also keeps the hot temperature outside from coming inside, and vice versa with the cold. So that gets completely done, every square inch. From there, we run all the wiring for the vehicle, whether it's LED lighting, sound, video, fuses, relays, the whole nine. There's a ton of wiring that goes into a build like this. We have a special, or I should say an in-house specialty. He's a 12-volt only guy that works for us in-house, and 90% of his duties here is just doing all of our electrical work in all of our vehicles, from speakers to audio to relays to lighting, the whole nine. So lay down the Dynamat, run all the wires. One thing I do want to stress with you guys, our 12-volt department here, we're very tedious in what we do. Like I touched on earlier in the first video, you will not find any connection butts on this entire vehicle. So if there's two wires that have to merge together, they get merged correctly. They get soldered, heat shrunk, and wire loomed. So there are no separate wires joining together with any electrical butts. A lot of the wiring that gets ran throughout the engine bay, the flooring, it all comes back to here. This is pretty much the motherboard of the 12-volt accessories. To the left you have a completely finished off relay housing. There are extra relays there for you to install any additional electrical stuff in the future. And to the right we have a very cleaned and soon to be labeled fuse panel. We have 5 fuses that are in there now, with 8 extra empty slots for any future relays, whether you want to add anything from sound and audio to you name it. It's all ready to go. The fuse holder, as you see, has individual cutouts right there, or I should say indentions for labeling them. So all that is ran through the back side of all the paneling, which makes it nice and clean. So from there we then move into the actual seating and all the two-tone components leather-wise that goes into this particular build. This vehicle from the factory did have tan interior. It was just tan cloth, and we decided when a vehicle like this has tan seats, tan carpet, tan dash, tan door panels, it's just too much tan and there's not enough to break it up. So we went with a two-tone interior. So what we added, starting off on the door panel, is the top portion of that door. We wrapped that in black leather. We obviously have our nice Polk DB speakers. The seats have a very nice tan and black two-tone leather. Continuing with the two-tone, we have the top black center console. We have a black shift boot, And once we go to the other side, I'll show you some other things that we did as well. And of course, the same continues in the back of the vehicle as well, which I'll show you guys some of that later on. When the seats come out, obviously everything gets done, so even the brackets on the seats right there, they get sanded down, a fresh coat of paint, because those brackets over the years, they get scratched up, they get dirty. So we don't just clean them, like I said, we sand them down, get them nice and clean, and then put some primer and paint on them. The whole entire vehicle gets carpeted from back of the firewall all the way back, even underneath the rear passenger seat. That's all new carpet. And of course, rear cargo, wheel wells, everything is brand new. Years ago when we started these builds, starting off as a company, we did use just the regular carpet that you can buy online. I think the whole set of carpet for the cheaper carpet's like $300 or $400. It's very thin, doesn't have any backing, no insulation on it. And over the last couple years, we started to use the better carpet, and it's a huge difference. So this actual carpet that's in this Jeep is the best carpet you can get. It's got a very, very thick back rubber backing pad. In addition, it also has wool added to it as well, a very thick wool padding. So the rubber adds weight to it, makes it thick, and then any areas where your feet go, there's extra thick padding there as well. So a really thick carpet, and on top of that, guys, like I said, everything's been dyno matted as well. So as far as plushness and everything goes, you're not going to get any better. To protect the brand new carpet, we obviously have brand new black WeatherTech floor mats throughout the vehicle. Give you a little glance of the other side as well. Those two toggle switches in the center frame, those are your high and low heated buttons for your heated seats that we added. Another thing, if you look center frame, that center part of the dash, that's the bezel for the navigation, AC controllers, and your rear buttons for your windshield wiper. That from the factory is just black plastic. So this plastic right here is what was on this. We wrapped that with the same tan leather we did the seats, and we also have black piping just to give it that nice two-tone look to complement the two-tone that we did with the rest of the vehicle. Years ago, when we started to do the leather seat conversions, we would simply take the seats out and rewrap them in the leather and go about the business. And obviously we're always trying to step up and improve what we do. So starting about a year ago, we started to actually rebuild the seats. So you're not only getting new leather seats, but the actual foundation of the seat, the springs and all that are new, but we reshape and reform and rebuild the seats. So when our interior department has the seats completely taken apart, we rebuild all the foam. So all your bolsters all the way around the seats have all been built up. When you sit in these seats, they actually feel better than a brand new factory seat. But you still don't even get the feel of a factory seat in a 15-year-old vehicle because they're worn out. So if you look at all the seats in Cherokees that are on the market, this bolster 90% of the time is flat with the seat. And even if it's not worn out bad, it's still pushed down. So if you look at my hand here compared to here, it's probably raised about 3 inches. So when you actually get in that seat, you're completely snug with the bolsters. They're built up, and that's done on both sides, not just the driver's side. And same goes with the side bolsters and everything else. So we completely reformat the seats, and it's a huge difference when you actually get in the vehicle and you sit in there, especially with the heated seats on. It just feels so nice. brand new headliner as well. In addition to the headliner, we also rewrap the visors as well. This is all done here in-house. Everything that we do to these vehicles is all done here in-house. The tint on the windows, that's 3M tint. 3M is your premium tint. They have a lifetime warranty. There's 3M tint facilities all over the US, so if anything happens, it's covered anywhere. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the back seat real quick. So obviously, like I touched on, carpet throughout. Take a look at those seat brackets. Very, very clean. We don't, and little stuff like that, guys, can easily get unnoticed, but it's just a lot of attention to detail on the fit and finishes of our Jeeps that have gotten us to where we are in the industry. But you know, we sand those completely down. We don't just sand the part of this seat bracket that you see. We do the whole railing, and we even put brand new grade 8 hardware. The reason we put grade 8 hardware in there is because those bolts from the factory, the way these floor pans are designed, those bolts are actually through the floor pan. So what happens is they get wet, and obviously any raw bolt will rust, and that rust will carry up onto the bracket. So using grade 8 hardware, it won't rust. It also looks nice to have brand new brackets, or excuse me, hardware, especially on the new carpet. And like I touched on, this carpet is super, super thick. Another really nice thing that you guys can't notice or sense in the video is the smell of the vehicle. You have new leather seats, you have new headliner, new carpet. Everything smells so clean, so nice, and it's not a spray that's, you know, gonna last a week or two. Everything is so fresh and so clean that the scent of the vehicle is just really, really nice with all the new materials being used in there. So that's nice as well. Sound system in the vehicle, we do have a full audio and video package. We didn't go with a subwoofer or amp. We can definitely add that if need be, but we have a 7-inch flip out navigation screen. We also have a center frame, a rear backup camera with LED lighting for at night. That is a complete Bluetooth system, both streaming music and talking as well. You have your microphone right there. That's a flip out unit. You have Polk DB speakers in both doors. And we also have 6x9s. We mount the 6x9s up there because the factory speaker up top, those can only hold 6.5s, and without going with subs, the 6x9s give you some good low and mid tones as well. So it actually sounds really, really good. Nice thing about having a tire carrier as well is you have extra room from where the spare used to be. Of course, we have brand new shocks on the rear gate as well. Vehicle also has part of our 12-volt system. We have a full alarm system